So good day everyone, we are the Group 1 at ang na-assign po na topic sa amin ay ang travel motivation, benefits and constraints to destination. So let's start. So before anything else, let's have a quick overview sa kung ano ang mga malalaman natin throughout this topic. So first, background and introduction. Next is source of travel motivation concepts. Third one is a specific tourist motivation theories. And the last one is employing travel motivation concept. So let's start with the background and introduction.
So hello everyone, my name is Siki and I will be the one to report the introduction. So first is airports are good location for observing others. For the casual observer, speculating about people motives is a good way to pass time, while for destination manager it involves challenges of matching the tourism experience available at their locations to people's needs. So, for example, you are at the airport. There you can see different people traveling and mapapatanong ka kung bakit kaya sila nagta-travel or pwede namang doon na lang sila sa specific place nila or pwede naman silang sa province na lang nila. Mapapaisip ka kung ano yung motivations nila or ano yung reasons bakit sila nagta-travel, 'di ba? And alam naman natin na yung tourism or yung word na tourism is laging kasunod niya is yung travel. So, walang tourism kung walang travel. Like for example is nung pandemic. 'Di ba kapag 'di ba nung pandemic walang restricted lahat, walang travel. So yung industry ng tourism is medyo nag 50-50. So next is the several preliminary perspective. Next please. So, a professional view of motivation requires the analyst to be mindful that other travelers may not be driven by the same social, cultural, and biological needs as observers. It simply says that not all tourists have the same reasons or motivations of traveling. Next, please. So, next is the background. So, tourist motivation deals with a special subset of wider interest area of human motivation. It is effectively the total network of biological and cultural forces that gives value and direction to travel choice, behavior, and experience by Pierce et al. 1998. So dito naman, yung mga behavior, choices, ano ba yung gustong makuhang experience ng isang tourist, dito lahat nagbo-boils down yung reasons ng travel nila. So, with all those motivations, kailangan mag-a-adjust yung mga tourist destinations on how they manage their business. Hindi pwedeng yung tourist yung mag-a-adjust because they are paying for the experience that they want to have after going to that specific destination. So, we know naman, di ba, na paiba-iba yung gusto ng tourist. Kunwari ngayon, gusto nila, buffet breakfast. And then, bukas, gusto naman nila room service. So, depende sa mood nila, sa society needs, sa national conditions. For example nga, yon yung pandemic. So, yung kailangan ng mga tao is more strict, more complex, and more meticulous. Next is the characteristics. Next please. There are some defining characteristics of tourism shape with the kind of explanations we are seeking when assessing tourist motivation. Tourism, like leisure, is a hybrid public sector social enterprise. So it supports the fact that tourists are varying their needs. So ulit. So it supports the fact that tourists are varying their needs are different. Their satisfaction levels are paiba-iba. Like for example, yun nga yung mga Koreans, ah sila may ibang Koreans na pwede mo silang by your simple smile, simple greet, yung pag-serve mo sa kanila in a light mood way, na-appreciate na nila yon, parang solve na sila doon. Kumbaga, parang satisfied na sila doon sa ganong service. Pero meron din ibang different nationality, like for example, mga Americans, Chinese, na kahit bigay mo na yung 100 full percent na na effort mo is di pa rin sila kontento or di pa rin sila masaya doon. So, ayun. Let's now proceed to source of travel motivation context.
Hello, I am Shaina and I will be discussing the sources of travel motivation concepts. So, meron tayong tatlong sources of travel motivation concepts kung saan doon sila kumuha ng idea kung bakit nagta-travel yung mga tao. So, the first source is from a popular literature and travel history. Doon nila nakuha kung bakit daw nagta-travel yung mga tao noon nung unang panahon. And yung mga nakuha nila is desire for relaxation, status, health, education, and escape. So for relaxation, example, um, yung isang empleyado or isang tao na nagtatrabaho, sobrang stress niya sa work, puro na lang siyang work, wala na siyang time sa sarili niya. So, parang napag-isipan niya, gusto niya mag-relax, and gusto niya ma-refresh yung mind niya or clear yung mind niya and wala mo na siyang iisipin mga work. So, parang magbabakasyon siya. So, yun yung magpupush sa kanya um, to travel and to have a relaxation. So, for status, example, isa ka sa mga, yung tao, isa siya sa mga na matataas na tao sa isang kumpanya and kailangan niya mag-travel outside or yes, kailangan niya lumabas ng Pilipinas para mag-attend ng meeting para sa isang client niya. So, kailangan niyang lumabas kasi syempre mahalaga sa kanya yung trabaho niya and kailangan niya mag-attend nung meeting na yon. And for health, maraming rason sa health. So, for example, yung isang tao, may sakit siya and kailangan niyang ng gamot. Yung gamot na yon is kailangan niyang kunin or kailangan niyang i-take isa-isang bansa. So, kailangan niya mag-travel para gumaling siya sa sakit niya. And for education, yung mga estudyante na gusto mag-apply or yes, mag-apply sa ibang school. So, kanwari, sa mga Harvard, gano'n, yung mga malalaking school sa US. And lastly is escape. Ito yung mga taong may mga may dinadamdam and gusto nilang takasin. Gusto nilang takasin yung mga sakit na nararamdaman nila and gusto nila mag-heal. So, yun yung nagpo-push sa kanila kung bakit gusto nila mag-travel. So, commentators on travel such as De Botton emphasize the significance of travelers experiencing more generous, less fearful, and constantly curious. Put a gap between me and my confusion, the whole of the Atlantic between me and my problems. Travel agents would be wiser to ask us what we hope to change about our lives rather than simply where we wish to go. So, parang ang sinasabi ni De Botton dito is huwag tayong matakot na i-try yung isang bagay. Kasi malay mo itong bagay na to is ito yung magpapabago ng buhay mo. So, for example, ako gusto kong pumunta sa isang bansa na which is my dream country. Pero natatakot ako kasi Siyempre ako lang mag-isa and hindi ako familiar sa culture dun and hindi ako familiar sa lugar. Yun yung tumitigil sa'kin kung bakit hindi ako makapunta dun. Pero habang patagal ng patagal, yung curiosity ko lalong lumalaki. Lalo ako naku-curious if ano yung mga bagay na ginagawa nila dun, ano yung mga pagkain na kinakain nila, lalong lumalaki. So dahil sa curious ako, parang napu-push akong mag-travel dun para malaman ko kung ano yung mga bagay na gusto kong gawin dun. So, if interesado ka magbasa ng mga travel literature, there are other popular travel writers that talks about what motivates travelers. It will be on page 41. The second one is nasa field siya ng psychology. So, kapag narinig natin yung psychology, ito yung it talks about study of a human mind. So the field of psychology serves as the second important information source, which is dynamic psychology. Dynamic psychology was an early 20th century attempt to predict people's behavior from a core understanding of human nature. So, ito yung mga taong may dinadamdam or may sakit silang dinadala. So, para yung para makalimutan nila yung sakit na yun, nagta-travel sila. So, ayan, yung nagta-travel sila para siyempre kapag habang nandito siya sa lugar na 'to, naaalala niya yung sakit, naaalala niya lahat. So, gusto niya mag-heal. So, napu-push siyang mag-travel or lumayo-layo dun sa lugar na yun para mag-heal siya. So, etong mga psychologist na 'to, which is Fred Henry Murray, Kurt Lewin, and Abraham Maslow, meron silang mga contribution sa topic na 'to. And the third or the last one is ito ay familiar sa mga destination managers. And the third source of commentary on motivation comes from government statisticians and commercial consultants. So, etong source na to, yung ginawa nila is nag-create sila ng isang survey and binigay nila sa mga taong nagta-travel which is international, and a large scale survey carried out by government departments offered data on general motivational classifications, including the primary reason for the trip. So yun nga, gumawa sila ng survey para malaman nila bakit nga maraming or may mga taong lumalabas or nagta-travel. And yung pinaka question nila na tinatanong nila is, what is your main purpose of travel? And yung mga nakukuha nilang option or yung mga nakukuha nilang information is, or yung reason nila kung bakit sila nagta-travel is because of a holiday, visiting friends and family, business, conference, or convention and migration. So, yun yung mga rason kung bakit daw sila nagta-travel. So, marami ding mga companies na gumagawa din ng ganitong survey. So, companies additionally undertake research on the reasons of travelers' behavior, offering insight into travelers according to their purposes. So, next we have specific tourist motivation theories.
So, hello everyone. I'm Aljim David at ang i-discuss ko naman ngayon ay ang specific tourist motivation theories. So, let's start. So, before anything else, i-define muna natin kung ano nga ba ang tourist motivation. Tourist motivation refers to the psychological and sociological factors that drives individual to travel and engage in tourism activities. These factors can include the desire for relaxation, adventures, cultural exploration, social interaction, or personal growth. For example, yun nga yung mga sinasabi nila kanina na may isang tao, puro na lang siya trabaho, at gusto niyang makapag-relax. So yung tourist motivation niya is yung relaxation and dahil dun, um, pupunta siya sa isang lugar para ma-relieve yung, stress na, nararamdaman niya. Next one. So next is the importance of understanding tourist, motivations. So bakit nga ba importante na malaman ang tourist motivation? So we have 5 here. Number 1, identify target markets and their specific needs and desires. 2, develop and promote tourism products and services that cater to these needs and desires. 3, enhance the visitor experience and satisfaction. 4, improve destination competitiveness and sustainability. 5, anticipate and respond to changing travel trends and preference. So, importante na malaman ang tourist motivation ng bawat tao. So, for example, kailangan mo siyang malaman at kailangan malaman din ng mga, nagbebenta ng products and, experience na ang bawat tao ay may iba't ibang, katangian or tourist motivation. So, dapat, mapag-aralan nila yon para makapag-adapt sila and nila yung mga different kinds of, travelers na pupunta sa kanilang mga lugar, 'yan. Next is, let's start sa mga, theories naman. So let's start with Plugs model. Plugs model categorizes travelers based on their psychographic characteristics. Psychographic characteristics, ito po yung, for example, personality, interest, attitudes, values, social status, and etc. Next, please. So, under kay Plugs model, we have two categories, which is ang allocentric and psychocentric. Allocentrics, these individuals are adventurous and motivated to travel or discover new destination. While ang psychocentric naman, these individuals tend to be conservative in their travel patterns, preferring safe destination and often taking many return trips. So, let's start muna sa allocentric. Next, please. So, ang allocentrics daw, sila yung mga independent travelers. So, sila yung mga hindi umaasa sa mga tour packages. So, kumbaga meron silang mga sariling itinerary na sinusunod. Next is excited by adventure. Yun nga, dahil nga allocentric sila, sila yung mga tao na excited pumunta sa isang lugar na extreme yung activity na pupuntahan nila. Kaya excited by adventure. Next one is eager to learn. Yun nga, dahil mahilig silang pumunta sa mga lugar na hindi masyadong pinupuntahan ng tao, 'no. Mas, gusto nila yung mga lugar na, um, tago or maliblib para magkaroon sila ng extreme experience kumbaga. Next one is likes to experience the unfamiliar. Yun nga, mas gusto nilang pumunta sa mga lugar na hindi kilala, hindi pa masyadong napupuntahan ng mga tourist para masubukan kung ano nga ba ang mga ma-experience nila dun. Next one is put off by group tours, packages, and mass tours. Gaya ng, sinabi ko kanina, sila ay, independent travelers. So, hindi sila umaasa sa mga tour packages, hindi rin sila mahilig sa group tours or mass tourism. Minsan mas gusto nila na sila lang, mag-isa or kokonti lang silang pupunta sa mga destination na kanilang pupuntahan. Next one is enjoy cultural tourism. Ito yung mga bagay na, for example, temples, ganyan. Mas gusto nilang pumunta doon to try the culture ng local people, makikipag-interact sila sa mga local people para ma-experience nila kung ano nga ba yung mga ginagawa doon sa lugar na yon. Are ethical tourists. So, yon sila ay mga, responsableng mga turista na, um, kumbaga kalat mo, tapon mo, mga gano'ng bagay ba. Next is enjoy a challenge. Gaya ng sabi ko kanina, yung mga activities na ginagawa nila is extreme. So, nag-e-enjoy sila kapag ganito yung mga type of activities na na-experience nila. Next is are advocates of sustainable tourism. Gaya ng sinabi ko kanina rin, sila ay ethical tourist, which means connected siya sa pagiging sustainable or pagiging green kumbaga. Next. So, dumako naman tayo sa psychocentric. Ang psychocentric daw, sila yung mga tao na nag-e-enjoy sa familiarity. Familiarity, ito yung mga bagay na kunwari, pumunta ka sa isang lugar, kunwari pumunta ka ng beach, Boracay Beach. Then, next time na magta-travel ka, parang gugustuhin mo na lang na pumunta dun dahil nasubukan mo na siya and alam mo na kung ano yung experience na makukuha mo. Next is like to have their home comfort. So, hindi sila mahilig lumabas ng kanilang comfort zone. Gusto nila kapag nag-travel sila, mararanasan pa rin nila kung ano yung mga nararanasan nila sa kanilang mga tirahan. Um, Next one is give preference to known brand. Next, travel in organized group. Yan. Magkaiba sila ng allocentric kasi yung sa psychocentric, mas gugustuhin nila na marami yung kasama nila sa group tours or mass tourism. Next is enjoy organized tour. Yan. Mas gugustuhin nila or meron silang mga binibili na tour packages na yun lang yung sinusunod nila and wala silang sariling itinerary. Next is like to stay within their holiday resorts. Yan. Kapag magre-relax sila, gusto nila dun sa kung saan na sila subok, kumbaga gano'n. Mas gugustuhin nilang pumunta dun sa na-experience na nila kaysa to try something new. Next, do not experience much of a local culture. Kasi ang mga psychocentric, hindi sila masyadong nakikipag-interact sa mga local people kung saan sila pupunta. Mas gugustuhin nilang, kung sino lang yung mga kasama nila sa grupo, sila lang din yung mga magkakausap. Hindi sila mahilig, um, pumunta sa mga, lugar na kung saan makikita yung local people para, kamustahin, kausapin, at i-try kung ano yung mga meron doon. Last is do not learn much about the area that they are visiting. Yun din, connected siya dun sa local culture kasi nga hindi sila mahilig mag-explore so hindi ganoon kadami yung mga nalalaman nila patungkol dun sa destination na pinupuntahan nila. Next. Next theory is ang push and pull theory by Dan 1977 and Crompton 1979. The push-pull theory differentiates between internal and external factors that influence travel motivation. Next, please. So, push and pull theory. Push factors. Factors which encourage to move away from their home settings through tourism. Pull factor naman, those attributes of a different places which attract or pull them towards it. For example, um, yun nga, yung sa example kanina na nagtatrabaho, puno ng um, gawain sa trabaho, so stress na lang, and napag-decide mo na gusto mong makapag-relax, gusto mong makapag-unwind. So, then napag-decide mo na pumunta sa beach dahil may magandang view yon and makakapag-relax ka dun. So, yung push factor dun is yung aalis ka sa bahay nyo or sa usual place mo which is yung trabaho mo dahil na-stress ka, gusto mong makapag-unwind, gusto mong ma-relieve yung stress mo. Then, ang pull factor dun is yung destination na kung saan meron magandang view at makakapag-relax ka dun. Ganon ang example ng isang pull and push and pull theory. So, ito yung next one. So, dito makikita kung ano ang mga example ng push and pull factors. Sa push, nandito yung escape, self-discovery, rest, relaxation, prestige, challenge, adventure, excitement, family togetherness, health, and fitness. While sa pull factor naman, nandito yung scenic view, historical areas, cultural attractions, events, sports events, beaches, parks, recreation facilities, shopping. So may example pa dito na um, patungkol kunwari sa food. Um, gusto mong i-try gusto mong mag-try ng something new na food. So yun yung magiging push factor mo. Then yung pull factor mo is pupunta ka sa isang lugar, then ita-try mo yung local food nila. So parang yun yung magiging pull factor mo na pupunta ka sa lugar na yon para i-try yung local food nila, which is exotic food. Next one. Next one is ego enhancement by Dan 1977. Ego enhancement refers to the desire to improve one's self-esteem. So one's self-esteem. Ang ego enhancement, ito yung mga tao na nagta-travel para i-impress yung mga kasama nila, friends nila, family nila, na yung end goal mo is mapataas yung parang social status, social, ah, para mapataas yung ano, um, yung social status mo kumbaga. Na pupunta ka sa isang lugar para lang, um, i-impress yung mga kaibigan, relatives, and family. So kumbaga parang magmamayabang ka, gano'n. Then yung anomie naman, anomie refers to the desire to escape from daily life and its associated stressor. So katulad lang siya nung mga example kanina, which is yung sa trabaho, daily life mo yon magtrabaho at stress. So, aalis ka para relax. 'Yun yung, example ng anomie motives. Next please. Next is ang Crompton's theory of tourism. Parang, related din siya dun sa push and pull theory. Crompton identifies 7 push motives towards a destination. They are escape, self-exploration, relaxation, prestige, regression, kinship enhancement, and social interaction. The pull motives were identified as novelty and education. For example, isa kang tao na mahilig sa mga um, pyramids. Pyramids. Gusto mong malaman kung gaano ba kalaki 'to, kung gaano ba kaganda 'to, kung ano ba ang mga makikita dito. So, 'yun yung magiging, push factor mo, self-exploration. While yung magiging pull motives mo is yung pupunta ka sa, pyramid, specifically sa Pyramid of Giza sa Egypt para malaman kung ano nga ba yung mga makikita doon. And ang magiging pull motives mo din is yung education. Next please. Next is Isaac intrinsic optimal arousal perspective. This theory focuses on the desired level of stimulation and the need for individuals to manage arousal levels during the travel and leisure activities. So, ang mga tao daw may mga kanya-kanyang arousal level and may specific arousal level na kakailanganin sa different kind of activities. For example, next please. For example, ito, the thrill seeker. A person who wants to maintain a high optimal arousal level needs exciting or more extreme activities to satiate their appetite. So, sa example na ito, syempre ano, ang magiging activities mo dito is extreme kasi nga yung arousal level mo is mataas din. Hindi naman puwedeng extreme yung activities na gagawin mo, then yung arousal level mo is mababa. Hindi siya magiging match, hindi ka magkakaroon ng perfect balance. Next is the urge to meditate. Choosing to meditate to lower your arousal level, calm your mind, and relax. Dito naman, syempre, magre-relax ka, magme-meditate ka. Dapat ba na mataas yung arousal level mo? So, hindi siya pwede kasi hindi siya magiging match dun sa activity na gagawin mo. Next, Travel Career Patterns, TCP Conceptual Scheme. The TCP Conceptual Scheme describes how travelers' motivational needs change over time with more travel experience. Next. So, ito po yung image kung saan makikita yung three layers ng TCP. Ang pinaka nasa loob is ang core motives na makikita dito is novelty, escape, relax, relationship. Next is yung middle layer motives and the outer layer motives. Sa core motives, ito yung mga motives na nasa atin na kahit wala pa tayong travel experiences. Which is ang novelty, escape, relax, relationship. So, nandito na siya sa atin, parang innate na siya sa mga tao. Then next is yung middle layer motives. So, kumbaga, kung pupunta ka sa isang lugar, gusto mong matry yung um, or gusto mong ma-practice yung skills mo, then pasok siya dun sa self-enhancement. Pupunta ka sa isang lugar para makapag-ensayo, mga ganong bagay. Next is yung sa outer layer motives. Example nun is yung sa romance. For example, pupunta ka ng Europe para magkaroon ng love life doon. Makahanap ng mga tao na pwede mong um, maging kasama sa buhay, kumbaga. Parang ganun yung mga examples nun. Next. So, the last theory ay ang Cohen's model. Sa Cohen's model, meron tayong dalawang um, part, which is ang institutionalized tourist and non-institutionalized tourist. Sa institutionalized tourist, meron tayong dalawang, nakadivide siya sa dalawa, which is ang the organized mass tourist at saka yung the individual mass tourist. Sa the organized mass tourist, ito yung how has low level of adventurousness and is anxious to maintain safe environmental bubble. Typically purchases pre-organized packages and has a little contact with the local culture or people. So sa the organized mass tourist, meron silang sinusunod na itinerary sa mga tour packages nila and takot sila na umalis sa um, parang ang tawag doon yung comfort zone nila, kumbaga. Takot sila na lumabas sa comfort zone nila kaya hindi sila masyadong nag-e-engage sa mga activities na hindi pasok dun sa itinerary nila. Next is the individual mass tourist. Similar to the organized approach but has more flexibility and scope related to personal choice. Still has little experience of the destination as seek to remain in the safe environmental bubble. So, parang similar lang siya, halos similar lang siya sa the organized mass tourist. Ang pinagkaiba lang nila is ang the individual mass tourist meron siyang kakayahan na palitan kung ano yung mga um, meron na activity dun sa itinerary niya. Next is dumako naman tayo sa non-institutionalized tourists. Naka-divide din 'to sa dalawang part, ang the explorer tsaka the drifter. The explorer chooses an independently organized trip based upon getting away from the beaten track. However, comfortable accommodation and reliable transport are sought. Will leave the environmental bubble sometimes but like to know if it is available. Sa The Explorer, sila yung mga, may sarili na silang mga itinerary kumbaga at hindi sila takot na mag-explore, na to try something new. Pero gusto nila meron pa rin silang, magandang, accommodation, comfortable accommodation, may mga masasakyan papunta sa destination na pupuntahan nila. Kumbaga ano sila, 'di sila takot mag-explore pero gusto nila nandun pa rin yung, um, mga bagay na mas mapapadali silang makapunta dun, mas masarap yung magiging tulog nila. Kumbaga, convenient pa rin. Next is the drifter. All the connections with the tourist, tourism industry are rejected, and the trip is about getting far away from home and familiarity. With no fixed itinerary, the drifters lives with local people by paying his her way and being immersed in the local culture. So sa the drifter, wala na silang so hindi na sila connected sa hindi na sila, bumibili ng tour packages, wala na rin silang sinusunod na mga, itinerary kasi ano, sarili na lang nila yung, sinusundan nila. Pumupunta sila sa mga lugar na, unfamiliar para i-explore yon, malaman kung ano ang mga makikita, malaman kung ano ang mga, makikita or kung ano yung mga meron dun sa lugar na yon. And hindi sila, naghahanap ng magandang, accommodation, transportation kung, ang option lang is maglakad, maglalakad. Kung ang option lang is matulog sa 'yan with kasama ang local peoples, gagawin nila yon para, mas ma-feel nila yung experience na gusto nilang ma-feel and mas magkakaroon sila ng maraming kaalaman patungkol dun sa destination na pinupuntahan nila. Next. So next is employing travel motivation concept.
So yan, I'm Clarence Mabesa. So I'm going to discuss employing travel motivation concept. So pag sabing employing travel motivation concept, it is valuable to consider the variety of ways in which motivation studies may be useful. Much of the applied work has concentrated on the role of motives in broad scale or overall destination selection. Motivation study can also be applied to on-site behaviors in terms of how people behave when at the destinations, the way that individuals use the facilities and experiences of a theme park, museum, an urban space, a national park, or a shopping precinct can also be a considerable interest to local destination managers. Next slide, please. So, yan. So dito, I just want to give a definition that I mentioned earlier. So yung first one is yung destination selection. So kapag sinabing destination selection, people choose where to
So nagkakaroon lang po ng technical difficulties at nag-lag po yung isang group member namin. So okay na ba, Clarence, yung connection? So mukhang hindi pa siya okay.
Oh, okay, naririnig na.
Ayun, okay na siya. So paulit na lang. Thank you.
Okay na. So, gaya nga ng nasabi ko, gusto lang ibigay yung mga definition nung na-mention ko kanina. So, the first one is destination selection. So, kapag sinabi natin destination selection, people choose whether to go based on their motives. Kumbaga parang sila yung may kakayahang pumili. And also, motives can be push factors, which is nasabi nga kanina, kapag sinabing push factors, it is problems or challenges, or pull factors, fun experiences or opportunities. And also, researchers study to motives to understand destination choices. Next, please. So yan. So for example, a family decide to visit a beach resort for their vacation. So yung pull factors dito, magbe-base siya sa For example, yung unahin muna natin yung push factors. Push factor. So, since yung family, they are stressed for their daily routine, so they are deciding to on a vacation. So, doon papasok yung push factors, wherein pipiliin nila yung magandang beaches, warm weather, and weather activities na base sa preference nila. Next slide. So next naman is on-site behaviors. So kapag sinabing on-site behaviors, researchers observe how people behave at a destination. This includes activities at theme parks, museums, or shopping areas. And also understanding behavior helps improve visitor experiences. Next. So ayan, for example, imagine a tourist visiting museum. So, yung ibang tourists, they prefer to enjoy visiting museum, while other tourists naman, they are just taking pictures for their social media. So, dito pa lang mapapansin na makikita yung behavior ng dalawa tourists. Next, please. So, yan. Next naman is changes in tourism. So, pag sinabing changes in tourism, people's travel reason change over time. Kumbaga parang nagbabago-bago. Researchers use motivation theories to understand these changes, and also this help discuss and adapt to evolving travel trends. Next, please. Yan. So, for example, over the years, there has been a noticeable shift in travel motivations among millennials. While previous generations might have prioritized tradition, sightseeing, and luxury accommodations. Kumbaga parang as a millennials, mas prefer natin kung ano yung nasa trends. So for example, mas more on engaged tayo sa mga eco-friendly na place. Next.
Okay, hi, I'm Jenny B. R. Lucero, and these are the several key points to observe when applying the concept and ideas in motivation theory to the specific topic of destination selection studies. First, it is important to use comprehensive range of travel motives because our mind can think deeply, absorb the ideas, and also we can engage ourselves to the other culture. And next is a consideration of destination characteristic is equally challenging explanation. So for instance, seasonality and congestion. For example, seasonality, we know naman po na pag seasonality, pag hindi maganda yung weather and also the isang place, lalo na pag maulan or hindi ganun kaganda, hindi po ganun kaganda din po yung isang attraction in one place. And also, lalo na pag congestion sa daan, lalo na pag traffic, di po maiiwasan lalo na pag holiday. And next is destination can offer many kinds of activities and experience. And the basic example of this is leisure, activities, entertainment, swimming. As a tourist traveler, we all know na we can engage ourselves kasi mas yun yung parang sa atin na doon nag-i-engage yung sarili natin sa mga activities in one attraction. Next po is okay. This approach shaped the question to be asked of the traveler. Ito po yung pwedeng itanong natin sa mga tourist traveler kasi hindi naman po natin alam kung ipupunta po natin sila sa isang activities. For example, hindi po sila mahilig sa hiking, hindi natin malalaman yon. So that's why kailangan po natin magtanong. First is, how much would you like to this activity? And next is, how important is this activity experience to you, and do you think this experience will meet your key needs? So next po. Okay. Identify. Demographic label and Chinese female travelers, openly gay residents of San Francisco. Demographic label, ito po yung isa sa mga isa po sa mga given pollution in one place. Hindi naman po natin may iwasan yung isang place, lalo na pag sobrang overcrowded sa sa isang place, and di maiswan, example po traffic. And next is Chinese female travelers. The Chinese female travelers is one of the independent solo travelers ng mga babae. And one of the safest country na pwede mag-travel mag-isa yung mga babae is the Chinese po. And next is openly gay residents of San Francisco. San Francisco is one of the top 1 ranking of the LGBTQ. Next po. This kind of cases could be shaped by local industry needs. First, most destinations have a priori categories of traveler type that seek to attract. And secondly, much of the existing work in this application. And third is motivational ideas. Next po. Employing travel motivation concept. Klenosky 2002, using layered questioning built on the Means and End technique. And Philip and Greenkey 2007, with a qualitative positive psychology framework. Next. Okay. Employing travel motivation concept, first, image of available experience might be enhanced. Image can encourage people to attract. And also, if makikita po, for example po, in social media, kung makikita lang natin yung isang place, kung ganun siya kaganda, pero hindi mo naman siya makikita in person, hindi po natin masasabi yung true feedback as a tourist traveler. And then the accessibility of the destination characteristic, tourist attraction can be comfort for us. Yun. Next.
So, yan. So, for as a summary, several key points should be clear from this analysis of tourist motivation. Kumbaga, lagi natin papakatandaan na yung pinaka-summary nito is to travel motivation. It means, is a push factors, patterned summary of social, cultural, and biological forces driving travel behaviors. So, hindi ko na lalahatin to, but overall, ang pinaka-main point nito is to understand and leverage. Kumbaga, pag sinabi natin leverage, it means to take advantage of the various factors that drive individuals to travel. And by identifying these motivations, katulad ng yung mga business sa travel industry, tulad ng hotels, airlines, tour operator, and even yung sa mga destination marketing organization, they will improve their offering and marketing strategies to better meet their needs and desires travelers. So, dahil doon, mas nag-i-increase yung customers' satisfaction and loyalty ng client or ng mga tourists, greater business and success. Yun lang.
And that's all for today's topic. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you po.
Thank you so much po.
Thank
Thank
you.
you po.
Tapos, ilang minutes yun, Jim?